Yeah, fantastic performance. An ominous performance.
Yes, and that 8-ball tracking again, as you say, it was noticeable in the first match.
Yeah, as long as I don't mention it, it'll move.
Yes. Really solid contact. He's really catching it well, and there's still plenty of power there. That is his control break, but it's a powerful control break. He's maybe worked on that a little bit, I think, over the course of the last couple of years. Good layout, but yellow over the bottom right-hand corner. If that had fallen in and had been over the moon, it would have been fairly routine for him. So he's got to try and work out what to do. I'll be surprised if that makes him entertain the yellows, but has to figure out how to deal with the red on the right-hand side. He is very good at doubles. I'm not sure if he can just drop this in and be straight on the double. I think the yellow would be in the way, so that may not be the option. I don't think he's got enough angle here to play on the red at the bottom of the table to leave an angle to break it out either. What's he got? Oh, he did. He had just enough angle.
Yeah, and it is amazing actually how much on this, you know, perfect equipment and perfect setup that you can swing the cue ball stuff the tiniest of angle.
Yeah, you can really pick the pocket and do what you like with it when it's like that. The only problem with playing the cannon was the fact that his chances of being on something wasn't overly high unless he got the cannon absolutely right. But he has landed nicely here. Maybe a touch on the thin side, but he has the room and the line available to him. He's just continuing where he left off, isn't he? It's been a brilliant visit to the table. It was a nice split, but he had one ball to solve. He worked it all out. Simple 8-ball. You just got to wait for him to go through and pop the balls then.
Yeah.
That's the sort of thing I'm talking about, that clinical nature where it is so certain.
Massive break from the bouncer. Why has that been hiding?
Yeah, that was powerful. But he has a similar layout here actually to Phil, but I would say it's a little bit trickier actually. No, I was thinking he had to go yellows, but he does have a red into the left centre or a couple of long pots top right. But if he does go yellows, then the yellow at the top of the table is a real problem ball. But it is the same as Phil in terms of it's one ball to solve. It's just a lot easier to solve the red that's by the yellow than it is the yellow itself, but hard to get a good first shot on the reds. So, oh, very clever thinking. He was trying to develop the yellow on that one shot. That was
nearly brilliant.
Yeah, great bit of vision there from Simon. I think he has an angle now in the centre pocket, so he could attack it again straight away. And attack it again straight away while you know you've got pots down the table may be the right way to go. Well, he is going to wait. Perhaps he feels this is a slightly better angle. I think the angle this time, he can go off the top cushion and into it, whereas the previous way he'd have been going into it direct, more than likely. Going into it off the top cushion's okay, as long as you don't stick on it. Oh,
Oh, disaster.
Just got too much on the cue ball, just nipped it, sort of arced it around the problem and hit the jaw.
Sai is a fantastic shot maker. Can he find anything here?
Well, the natural of potting this bottom right and going into it isn't there. The power he has to play it, that would be throwing way too wide. You can't get anywhere near it, so I don't think he's got away.
He can see the yellow here. Just wonder if there's a way he can... Oh, no way. Oh.
Well, the double was on, actually. That's what he was playing. There was a line for the double.
Issue is what we saw. The cue ball coming back. T-boning it out the way. I wonder if Phil goes off this chance here. Should do, you'd expect. His pensive thought just made me consider he might not.
Yeah, there's no real reason not to. You don't gain an advantage by laying a snooker and getting cue ball in hand when you are already cue ball in hand, essentially. So nothing that needs to be developed or worked out. It's just all there. So forget the yellows or even on the table and just plot your way through them. Might have left this a touch straight. Yeah, that's why the grimace. Oh, he was going to play that with the tracer running side and just get a touch higher.
Digging deep.
He needs to avoid the 8 ball if he screws on and off. I suppose if he does cannon the 8 ball, he will be on a ball thin, but he's starting to lose control, so he will want to miss it. Yeah, that's okay. Just skimmed off it. Absolutely fine. Well, say absolutely fine. He's not happy because he's still a touch thin on it, but I thought he could just stun behind the other one, but he might play a little soft cannon.
Just like that. Perfect.
Yeah. You know, we've watched Phil for over 3 years now with Ultimate Pool, and we talk about the sort of, you know, obviously it's always a bit of fun and games with how he reacts out there, but, you know, he's left himself off perfect a couple of times, and there's been no hint of anything. There's been no hint of Phil Harrison there, which I think is a good sign in an Ultimate Pool shot clock era.
That's a terrific break from Phil. That is as good as you can hit that particular break.
The last thing that Simon Fitzsimmons wanted to see was this. That, I mean, we talk about the sort of clinical nature of the game, and right now Simon's already thinking, right, what am I going to do here from 3-0 down? I don't think he has much hope to get to the table in this visit, in this frame rather.
Phil's been playing the game at an elite level for so long. He's probably the player who... It's an unquantifiable statistic because there is just too much going on, but by many people's counts, he's won more sort of club tournaments than anybody else. He is always playing somewhere on a weekend, wherever it may be. And
yeah, yeah, go on.
And I was just going to say, in further scarier news for another section of the pool community, he actually qualified to become a senior.
Yes.
As of the back end of last year. So even more trophies for him to pick up.
Yeah, very true. But yeah, no, he's, you know, he talked about him being part of that sort of golden generation, if you like, and long since the other members of that generation have stopped playing in anything other than the absolute major events, he still plays in. You know, he's notoriously played in everything and anything and everything, and he still does. He's almost the king of those sort of tournaments. dread to think how many actual titles he's won in his career. If you counted all of those as well, it would be a quite ridiculous number.
Hundreds and hundreds.
Yeah.
Maybe even more than that.
Oh, yeah.
He's been going a long, long time. Another clinical visit to the table. He is marginally overhit that, which is just going to get an angry chalk of the cue and a little check of the angle, but he's still absolutely okay. Never in doubt.
It really was. That was nailed on certainty from the minute he broke.
Simon Fitzsimmons knows that sometimes you can play perfect and still lose. He's hoping to engineer something, but in hitting a big break but not making a ball, he may well have just made Phil's life a little bit easier.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see here. I think he'll go yellows, but does he have an angle to play the yellow top right and screw down into the other yellow? Even though it goes, I'm wondering if he gets the full ball cannon, is he on the one to left centre? If not, does he try and avoid it, and how does he get on a ball? Because it's the first 2 or 3 shots here. It looks a touch thin to me to play that sort of screw down the line. So he is looking for something else. Absolutely pinpoint.
Yeah, how good is that?
Yeah. The margin between hitting the red on that line and going in off in the centre pocket was quite small. And he's just found it to absolute perfection. Oh, this plant helps the situation as well. Arguably a touch short this time. I think he wanted to get to the straight. He's not quite got there.
That was okay.
Yeah, and he
just
thought,
within time, but he's now in a little bit of bother.
Yeah, he thought he could slide by that yellow without touching it. That's why I was saying he wanted to get to the straight so he could go right centre, left centre, right centre, up the cushion. So now he's got to play a shot.
Play
Which he does.
He has.
Perfection. It is a joy to watch Phil when he plays like this.
Yeah, it truly is. You know, I know you did a long feature recently with Tom Cousins, the #1 player, and he spoke effusively about the regards in which he holds the man who he describes as his greatest opponent. Phil Harrison is rolling in the Champions League. 2 from 2 from the farmer. Gets the better of Simon Fitzsimmons again. But this time, it wasn't by a particularly close margin. Simon Fitzsimmons didn't do a huge amount wrong, but everything that Phil Harrison is doing is absolutely spot on.